All right. Hello and welcome to the OCD and Anxiety Show. My name is Matt Cotty, and I'm the founder of Restored Minds and the creator of the AAA Response. And on this episode, we are going to talk about rumination and understanding rumination, what it is, why it's a compulsion, and more importantly, what to do about it if to really help your recovery. So there's a lot of talk, things I've read where it seems like there's people that are confused on the idea of rumination, and that there's these you know things being said like, oh, what we really need to focus on eliminating rumination in order to do ERP effectively, and that's what we need to focus on. And at the end of the day, it's like that's always been the focus of ERP, right? And so for a lot of people, I don't think they really understood that rumination has always been a compulsion. It's always been a primary focus of removing as a compulsion in order to engage in what we call ERP, or exposure response prevention, to really break that loop, right? So this isn't a new idea, right? And if it is, then and this is like a newer concept to you, that's okay. But it's important to understand that, like, rumination has always been a compulsion. And to say that we need to focus just on rumination to do ERP, it's like, no, we need to remove all compulsions, right? Mental or physical. So it could be rumination, it could be thought blocking, thought suppressing, analyzing, body scanning, right? And then obviously, like, mentally reassuring yourself to the physical ones, so avoidance, checking, controlling, ruminating, coping, distracting, all that stuff. And so let's talk about what rumination is, right? So now that we've addressed the importance of eliminating rumination as part of the recovery process, let's talk about kind of what it is. So rumination is really what happens when there's an emotion in your nervous system that you perceive to be dangerous or too dangerous to feel. And so we go into our mind to escape it, to resolve it. And the problem is you're never going to be able to think through feeling and emotion. This is why rumination will never work. This is why you can think about something and think about something and think about something and think about something and really get nowhere with it, or really feel like you've just gotten nowhere and you could spend the whole day ruminating about it. Because rumination is a behavior you're engaging in to feel safe. And because you're engaging in a behavior to feel safe, it's already an indication that you feel in danger, right? So your fight or flight is activated, or your yellow nervous system, if you will. For those of you that like the stoplight analogy that I often reference. And rumination, again, once you understand that it's when you are ruminating, it's already an indication that you are in danger, that you feel in danger. And because there's nothing presently going on, then we go into the mind to try to solve that. The problem is the mind is not a good tool for getting us out of hypothetical threats, which is what OCD and anxiety all breeds in, right? Is these what if scenarios, past or futuristic ideas, so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, when we're talking about rumination, yes, it's absolutely something that needs to be eliminated, because the act of ruminating itself is validating that you're in danger. And it's also escaping the feeling. That's why what exposure response prevention is, right, is, again, exposing ourselves to the feeling that we're experiencing in our body, and then preventing ourselves from engaging in any compulsions or safety behaviors that are validating that we're in danger, right? So that's the entire idea. And we can't just say, hey, I need to remove this one compulsive behavior or this one safety behavior. I just need to remove rumination. It's like, no, we need to remove rumination. And like I said, any other mental behavior and any other physical behavior. That's the only way that we can actually engage in exposure and response prevention and get better. And what rumination is really an escapism, right? It's like I don't feel safe in my body and I go into my mind. And because of that, right? Because you're going into your mind, it's validating that that emotion really is dangerous. That you're not supposed to feel this, or you can't feel this, or whatever it is. What this work is about noticing when you're ruminating, and again, choosing to go into the body. So to like leave the mind, go into the body itself and really feel through what it is that you're trying to avoid. Right. So all these feelings in there, usually, again, fear, guilt, shame, doubt, uncertainty, anger, panic, rage, all that stuff, all those, what feelings that we perceive to be dangerous, the work is actually moving into it, right? And feeling it in its entirety. That's what allows it to surface through the nervous system and pass. For most of us, we've buried emotions for so long that we're just ruminating all the time, thinking that we're doing something productive, or convincing, I should say, convincing ourselves that we're doing something productive, when really we're just operating in an escapism behavior. That's what rumination is. So if you are ruminating, notice that, number one, that's already an indication that you're in fight or flight. Because if you wouldn't need to ruminate if you didn't feel like you were in danger, right? If you just felt calm, at peace, right, in the green, right, in the nervous system, and safe and social engagement, you wouldn't feel the need to ruminate. So the draw to ruminate is an indication that your nervous system's active. And that usually means that a lot of times there's feelings there that we actually need to feel through. So because you're going into the mind, you're already not focused in the right area, and you need to bring yourself back into your body and really feel through whatever's going on. And that's, really what we talk about with the AAA response into more depth and detail, right? Because obviously it's one thing to say that, and there's a lot of nuances on, like what that means to do that, right? So, you can always check out, again, we have some links right down in the notes, for some resources to get you started on the AAA response. And then we also have, again, our 12-week program that kind of walks you through, how to really get good at that. And actually, again, feeling through, the uncomfortable sensations in the body, and teaching your body and nervous system that it's actually not dangerous to feel emotions. It's not dangerous to feel any emotion. Right. And we don't want to validate that emotions are dangerous. And that's what we do with compulsive behaviors or safety behaviors. So bringing a sense of safety, not to get rid of the emotion, but safety in feeling emotion and in the whole spectrum of emotion, right? Like that's the objective there. So anyways, hope that was helpful. And yeah, again, if you're looking for more resources, check out the notes. And we have some links for you there, as well as, go ahead and also, it would really help us if you would like and subscribe, as well as leave us a review over on iTunes or Spotify, because it just helps the algorithm of the show as well. So thank you so much for hanging out today. I hope this was helpful. And again, I think what we're going to do is kind of start a series on really talking about specific compulsions, starting to identify them, and really help you see where they are in your life. Because a lot of times the main problem with compulsions, like rumination, is that we are not even aware that we're doing it. And so sometimes it's just the first step is just bringing that awareness to it that really helps that change. So thank you guys. And I wish you guys a great week as always. Talk soon.